Most people do not fail at starting a business because they are lazy. They fail because they guess the money part wrong. Some start with way too little and run out of cash fast. Others wait forever because they think they need thousands they may never actually need. So what is the real number? And what is the one mistake that quietly destroys new businesses before they even get a real chance? Number one, the real answer is, it depends. There is no one magic number. A lawn care business, a cleaning business, and an online tutoring business can all start for very different amounts. One person may need a few $100s. Another may need several thousand. The real question is not, how much money do I need? The real question is, what kind of business am I starting, and what does it need to make its first sale? That shift changes everything. Number two, some businesses start shockingly cheap. Many beginner businesses do not need an office, a store, or a huge team. A freelance writing business might only need a laptop, internet, and a simple website. A dog walking business might need flyers, a phone, and basic insurance. A social media management business might start with software, a portfolio, and time. In many cases, a service business can begin for under $500 if you already own the basics. Number three, product businesses usually cost more. Selling a product sounds exciting, but it often costs more than beginners expect. You may need inventory, packaging, shipping supplies, labels, storage, and returns. Imagine you want to sell custom candles. You need wax, jars, scents, boxes, a logo, and maybe samples. Before you make real money, you may already have spent hundreds or thousands of dollars. That is why product businesses usually need more startup cash than service businesses. Number four, the first sale budget matters most. A smart beginner does not ask how to build a giant company on day one. A smart beginner asks how much money it takes to get to the first paying customer. That is your first sale budget. If you are starting a tutoring business, maybe you need a Zoom account, a basic logo, and a small ad test. If you're starting a pressure washing business, maybe you need equipment, fuel, and a simple local flyer campaign. Focus on the first sale, not the fantasy version of the business. Number five, startup costs come in layers. A lot of people only think about the obvious stuff. They remember the laptop or the tools, but startup costs come in layers. There are setup costs, operating costs, and surprise costs. Setup costs are things like licenses, equipment, and a website. Operating costs are things like software, gas, supplies, and phone service. Surprise costs are the ones that hit you when you least expect it, like repairs, refunds, or a slow month. If you only budget for the first layer, you are already behind. Number six, a business plan can save you money. You do not need a fancy 40-page plan, but you do need a simple one-page plan. What are you selling? Who is it for? How much will it cost you to start? How much will you charge? How many sales do you need to break even? Let us say your monthly costs are $300 and you make $100 profit per client. You need 3 clients just to cover monthly costs. That one simple calculation can stop you from walking into a money trap. Number 7. Most beginners overspend on looking official. This is where a lot of money gets wasted. New business owners buy custom shirts, expensive logos, premium websites, office furniture, and fancy business cards before they even have one customer. That feels productive, but often it is just emotional spending dressed up like business planning. Customers usually care more about results than polish. A simple, clean setup beats an expensive, empty setup. Looking official is nice. Getting paid is better. Number 8. You need a tiny test before a big launch. One of the safest ways to start is to test small. Do not spend $5,000 on a full business idea before spending $100 to see if anyone wants it. If you want to sell homemade cookies, test a small batch locally first. If you want to offer resume help, work with 2 or 3 people first and collect feedback.
A test can reveal pricing problems, demand problems, and delivery problems before they become expensive mistakes. Number 9. Emergency cash matters more than hype. Even a good business can struggle in the beginning. Sales may come slower than you hoped. Equipment may break. A client may pay late. That is why startup money is not just launch money. It is also survival money. Many experts suggest having at least a few months of personal living expenses saved before going all in, especially if you plan to leave a job. Your business may need time to grow, but your rent will not wait. Number 10. Home-based businesses can cut costs fast. Starting from home can lower your costs in a huge way. No office rent, no long commute, no storefront bills. That can make a massive difference when you are new. A person selling digital templates, coaching, bookkeeping, or graphic design can often run the entire operation from a spare room or kitchen table. Lower fixed costs give you breathing room, and breathing room gives you time to learn. Number 11. Licensing and legal costs are easy to miss. This part is not exciting, but it matters. Some businesses need permits, licenses, insurance, or registration fees. A food business may need health approvals. A childcare business may need special licensing. A contractor may need local permits. These costs depend on your state and business type, which is why two businesses that sound similar can have very different startup numbers. The money you save by checking rules early can be the money that keeps you out of trouble later. Number 12. Marketing is not optional. A lot of beginners think, I will build it and people will come. Usually they do not. Even the best business needs attention. That could mean local flyers, social media posts, email outreach, a simple website, or a small ad budget. For example, if you start a mobile car detailing business, people need to know you exist before they can hire you. You do not need a giant marketing budget, but you do need a plan to be seen. Number 13. Time is also a startup cost. Here is something people forget. Money is not the only thing you spend. Time is a cost too. If you spend 20 hours building a website no one visits, that is a real loss. If you spend weeks designing packaging before testing your product, that is also a cost. Smart beginners protect both money and time. They ask, does this move me closer to a customer? If the answer is no, it may be a distraction. Number 14. A side hustle start is often the smartest start. You do not always need to quit your job and bet everything. Many successful businesses started as side hustles. That path can lower stress and reduce risk. You keep your paycheck while learning what customers want. Imagine you start weekend photography while working a weekday job. You can use those early profits to fund better gear instead of using debt. Slow does not mean weak. Slow can mean smart. Number 15. The best number is your minimum viable number. So, how much money do you really need to start a business? The best answer is this. You need enough to legally start, deliver your product or service well, reach your first customers, and survive early bumps without panic. That number might be $200, it might be $2,000, it might be more, but it is usually less than beginners fear and more than careless people guess. The goal is not to start big. The goal is to start smart, stay alive, and grow from there. If you were starting a business today, would you choose the cheapest path possible or save more first so you could launch with less stress?